What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Wes Bjornson here, representing Country Crush. I'd like to welcome you to The Grip, where we talk about arm wrestling, powerlifting, and strongman. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of the show. On this episode, I'm going to introduce myself a little bit, talk about my personal relationship with strength sports, arm wrestling specifically. And then we're going to get into the meat of the subject today, which is newcomers to the sport of arm wrestling, what you should expect, what not to expect, pain involved in the sport, inevitable injury because you're going to get hurt, and how to interact with other arm wrestlers, which I think is the most important part of this episode. I'm Wes Bjornson. I'm a competitive arm wrestler, and I've been involved in the sport in one way or another for a good long time, since high school. I think that's when most arm wrestlers get their first taste of the sport. But if we're talking about training specifically and competing in tournaments, I've only been involved for about a year and a half, which really kind of makes me a newcomer. There are guys in this game that have been doing it for 20, 30 years. But I think that gives me a unique perspective. I have enough experience to be able to guide new guys without being a pro. So talking about things that new guys can't understand, which is a thing that me coming up through the game, I realized that a lot of 20, 30-year-old pullers just didn't know how to relate to a new guy anymore. It's like they forget that people don't know the lingo, the techniques, the movements, how to they lose their ability to relate to new guys. So like I said, I think that gives me a unique position to talk about this.
Without further interruption, let's celebrate and suck some dick.
So you want to be an arm wrestler. Chances are high that you just started watching Devin Larratt videos on YouTube, which, believe it or not, if you've started arm wrestling in the last 5 years, that's probably how you got your start. And to be honest, that's a pretty good way to go about it. Devin is the Michael Jordan of this game, next to maybe John Brzezinski. So he's not a bad guy to take advice from. That being said, now you've seen some videos, you're interested, you want to start training and competing. First thing you got to do is you got to find a team, or you got to find a single partner to train with. I would say a minimum of once a week. You want to be good at swimming, you swim. You want to be good at running, you run. If you want to be good at arm wrestling, the best thing you can do is to get rid of the fucking weights and just arm wrestle. Just find a team and arm wrestle. The quickest way to do that, in my opinion, is Facebook. Facebook is a invaluable tool. Go up to your search bar, type in whatever state and arm wrestling, and you will doubtlessly have teams pop up. You can pick a direction and drive for an hour, and you'll find a team. When we talk about the serious part of arm wrestling, we're talking about the competition, the competing in tournaments. And that's a little bit of a different story for me. You see, I'm of the opinion that you should not wait to compete. A lot of guys think that you should wait. Someone should evaluate you. Someone should tell you when you're ready to go get on the table. That's wackadoo bullshit to me. The first step is finding a team. The second step is the first opportunity you have to compete, go compete. Obviously, don't jump into open, don't jump into high-level pros. Compete at first comers or novice, but compete. Like I said before, if you want to be a swimmer, you swim. So go to these tournaments, start feeling out the community, get used to the idea of being on the table, of having, a lot of people stare at you while you do something that you're a little bit unsure about. Because the quicker you get used to that, the quicker you can eliminate that fear and concentrate on being a better arm wrestler. Now, when we talk about taking advice from high-level pros, this is a little bit of a tricky subject, because like I said in the beginning, some of these guys just forget what it's like to be brand new to this game. So they will tell you things to progress your game, especially pronation exercises, that they work, and they will make you a stronger top roll. They will make you a better arm wrestler. But if you're first starting out and you're doing what they're doing, you're probably going to get hurt. You're probably going to accumulate some injuries pretty quickly. A really bad one, man. And I love Todd Hutchings. But Toddzilla, if you jump into his workout program, you're going to get hurt. The dude is a freak. most people have no business, especially the side pressure training stuff he does. Most people have no business doing that stuff. So after competing, after finding a team, find somebody. Devin Larratt's a great example. Find somebody whose workout you can complete without hurting yourself. That'd be my biggest point of advice, is minimize your injuries by not overtraining. I train once a week on the table, once a week for static holds, and if I'm feeling weird about static holds, I just won't do that day. And then I do once a week of either heavy hammer curls or high rep, low weight hammer curls for, reconstructive purposes, basically, to push blood into the muscles to try to regenerate as quickly as I can. Okay, the next thing we need to talk about is pain. Pain in this sport is, you can't escape it. You're gonna hurt. Especially your first, I'd say, month, 2 months in the game, if you're practicing every week, or even every other week. Your tendons just aren't used to that kind of torture. Your connective tissue, everything in your shoulder, and your elbow, and your wrist, fingers even, all that stuff just aches, and it's a pain you've never felt, because you don't do this kind of movement, this kind of isolation, this kind of holding in the gym. Everything's full range of motion. This is not that. This is locking your tendon and putting your whole fucking body weight on, a single group of tendons and maybe a single muscle. Get used to the idea of pain. The best thing you can do is ice. Icy hot, all that bullshit, none of it works. That's just topical stuff anyway. Don't rely too heavily on it. Ice, on the other hand, will reduce swelling. And your tendons don't work like muscles. You don't want to alternate ice and heat. Once they swell, it's going to be slow healing. So you need to reduce your tendonitis if you have tendonitis. And if you don't have tendonitis, you will have tendonitis. Reduce that with ice. I ice for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes at a time after each practice until I feel like I'm okay again. This is Wes Bjornsson representing Country Crush. That was The Grip. Thanks for joining us, and I hope to see you guys next time.